say it right now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, colleagues, students, and guests. I'm Professor Nelson Hilton of the English Department, and as chair of the University Council Executive Committee, it's my privilege to welcome you to this annual State of the University Address called for by our university statutes. President Michael F. Adams needs no introduction to anyone in this room. I am certain also that we are well aware of the valedictory nature of the occasion, though not everyone may realize that this is the 16th time that he has reported to us. Considering that the average tenure of a university president is now 6.5 years, we are truly fortunate to have enjoyed his steady leadership since 1997. Earlier this month, Georgia Trend magazine identified President Adams for the 12th consecutive year as one of our state's 100 most powerful and influential citizens. And friends, that represents a history of access, intervention, and facilitation that will be sorely missed. During the preceding 6 years, I had the opportunity annually of observing President Adams in an informal setting of lunch with the year's 10 Lilly Fellows. The purpose of this gathering was, in part, for him to answer any and all questions that those very smart new faculty wished to pose. While the discussions were off the record, I have to report that I was repeatedly impressed by his ability, willingness to grapple candidly and thoughtfully with the most pointed questions. From my perspective, he has tirelessly fulfilled his stewardship of our institution, and despite the extremely challenging circumstances of the past few years, we are in a much stronger position than when he arrived. We are the better for his leadership. I look forward to his remarks and know that you will join with me in thanking and welcoming the 21st President of the University of Georgia, Michael F. Adams.
Thank you, Nelson, for those kind words. Thank you for your leadership of council and for the myriad of other ways in which you positively impact this institution. I want to thank each one of you for taking the time out of your schedule this afternoon to come and to attend this 16th and final State of the University Address from me. It has been my pleasure and my privilege to present this report, required by University Council statute every January since I arrived here in the summer of 1997. It is a time to reflect on the events of the previous year, but more importantly, I believe, to focus our gaze together on the coming years. The work of this place is communal, not individual. All successes here are mutual accomplishments. There was much to celebrate in 2012 at the University of Georgia. Once again, we enrolled the most qualified class in UGA history. I've been able to say that 14 of 16 years. For the GPA of 3.8 and an SAT average of 1273 compares with the first class of my tenure at 3.5 and 1182. The continued elevation in the quality of the UGA student body is one of the things about which I am the most proud. These are very good students, drawn here by the quality of the faculty, the strength of the academic programs, the beauty of the physical plant, and some, I believe, still come for football tickets. UGA students do very well once they get here. That's evidenced by the number of national academic scholarships awarded to them in recent years. In November, we learned that Elizabeth Allen is our 23rd Rhodes Scholar and the 4th in the past 6 years. She capped an exceptional year for such honors. In 2012, UGA students won 4 Goldwater scholarships, the maximum allowed by that group, 3 Udall scholarships, one of only 2 institutions in America to do so, 5 Boren scholarships, and 17 Fulbrights. UGA students today are competitive with young people anywhere in this country. And as I have said to many people and groups around the state for 16 years, if you are worried about the future of this country, come spend a day with me on this campus. You will feel much better about the future. Lest there be concern about the monetary value of a UGA degree, much in the news today, in addition to the qualitative value, in September we learned that Smart Money magazine, a publication of the Wall Street Journal, had ranked UGA 4th on a list of salary return on tuition investment. For the first time in 2012, we made the list of public Ivies, placing 4th, which simply serves to endorse the outcome of a whole range of efforts we have undertaken together. We continued to fare very well in the annual Open Doors ranking of study abroad experiences for UGA students, placing 12th among all institutions, up from 15th the previous year. More than 25% of the graduating class in 2011 had an international experience. I have long believed and continue to in the transformative power of studying outside the comfort zone of the United States, and I'm very proud of the progress we have made together in this area. Together, we have purchased property in England, in Costa Rica, and in Italy. We also have bilateral cooperative agreements with more than 40 of the world's best universities. Today, a student can come to the University of Georgia and study virtually anywhere in the world. In early February, we dedicated one of the most beautiful and functional buildings on this campus, the Richard B. Russell Building for Special Collection Libraries, home to the Hargret Rare Book and Manuscript Library, the Richard B. Russell Library for Political Research and Studies, and the Walter J. Brown Media Archives and Peabody Collection. The Russell Building literally tells the story of Georgia in ways that no other entity can. With as much vault space below the ground as square footage above, the modern technology to store documents and artifacts appropriately, and ample gallery space to display the collections, this is the kind of research library a top public university ought to have. Bill Potter was the happiest person on campus that day. In November, we broke ground on a new veterinary medicine learning center at the intersection of College Station and Barnett Shoals Roads. This building will bring that college's facilities up to the standards of the exemplary teaching, research, and service that is done there. I am deeply grateful to the governor and to the legislature for the level of state funding in that project, and equally grateful to the many generous private supporters that helped make it possible. Dean Allen and her staff are due a great deal of credit for the very good work that they have done. I'm also grateful to several major donors and many, many others who have made it possible for us to fund privately the first phase of the new Terry College learning community along Lumpkin Street. That building will bear the name of longtime UGA friend and supporter Pete Carell, who made the anchor gift. We plan to break ground there in the spring, about the same time we begin construction on a new Bolton dining hall at the corner of Baxter and Lumpkin Streets, financed by the UGA Real Estate Foundation. The Real Estate Foundation is another of the things about which I am quite proud over the past 16 years. Also, 2 significant academic developments occurred in 2012. On July 1, following a unanimous spring vote by University Council, the College of Engineering was established with Dale Threadgill, long a champion of engineering at UGA, as founding dean. And in early August, the Health Sciences campus, formerly the Navy Supply Corps School in Normaltown, was occupied by the College of Public Health and the Georgia Regents University Medical Partnership. Today, these units will address the challenging state of public health in Georgia, individually and collectively. Taken together with the other academic units established here in the past 16 years, about which I will say more later, these constitute what is arguably the greatest enhancement of the academic profile of this university in its history. UGA researchers also continued to earn grants and produce results that not only gained recognition worldwide, but more importantly stand to improve lives. The formation of the Obesity Initiative under the direction of Professor Cliff Bale is a perfect example. That initiative brings together the expertise and experience of some 100 faculty from across the university to address one of the most pressing public health challenges facing this state. More than 1 million Georgia children are obese. 1 million. The flagship institution in this state can no longer stand by without organizing against this crisis, and I am proud of the faculty who have stepped forward to address this need. Among other research and scholarship highlights of the past year, a method for harnessing bacterial immune systems with far-reaching implications for biotechnical and biomedical research. A 15-year study of deaths among high school football players with recommendations for reducing the risk of such tragedies. The use of nanoparticles and alternating magnetic current to kill cancerous cells in certain mouse tumors. A partnership with Emory, Georgia Tech, and the CDC to conduct research on malaria. The discovery of a genetic mutation in sunflowers that likely produced the flowers in Van Gogh's famous painting. An effort to revive the great American chestnut tree, which was virtually eliminated from the American landscape following the introduction of blight in 1900. UGA engineers garnered statewide attention for a series of meetings with restaurant and hotel operators on ways to conserve water and save money. And a $1 million National Science Foundation grant to study the most important genes in the soybean genome with an eye toward additional uses of that versatile legume. The production of a new map of the human brain, a $1.5 million Department of Energy grant to pursue innovative approaches to more efficient methods of energy transmission, and a $2 million grant to further biofuel development. Promising work on a new vaccine for mumps, and $1.5 million for research into the molecular mechanisms behind a class of previously unidentified anemias. The Georgia Museum of Art received a significant collection of African American art from our good friends Larry and Brenda Thompson. And Professor John Insko's work, Writing the South Through Self, was named the best history book in the state of Georgia. Several of our best internal people were promoted to new positions and are serving the university very well. Michelle Garfield Cook as Associate Provost for Institutional Diversity. Jerry Legge is Associate Provost for Academic Planning, and Janice Dawkins is Director of the Equal Opportunity Office. Alan Dorsey, who's here today, assumed the position of Dean of the Franklin College of Arts and Sciences last July 1. And just on January 1st of this month, Craig Kennedy, a senior administrator at Vanderbilt's Peabody School, joined us as Dean of the College of Education. The year in athletics was highlighted by the London Olympics and Paralympics, where 26 current or former UGA athletes competed in 7 events, bringing home 7 medals. If UGA were a country, it would have placed 24th. The women's swimming team, under the direction of Coach Jack Bowerly, set a new NCAA record by winning its 82nd consecutive home meet, a streak which extends back an amazing 16 years. I have never seen them lose at home. The most recent NCAA report on graduation rates contained more good news about the academic progress of UGA athletes. The graduation success rate is 81%. The football team's rate is up to 69% from 41% 5 years ago. 14 of our 17 teams either improved or maintained constant their academic performance. As you can see, 2012 was another very good year at the University of Georgia, thanks largely to the very good work of many of you in this room today, the faculty, staff, and students who join you across this great campus. That literally was the year 2012. But if you don't mind today, I want to pause and take a little broader view over the past 16 years. I want to postulate a few things that I wish I had done and hope maybe the university will consider going forward. And then finally, to offer some closing personal comments. So 4 sections today. We're through run. Stay with me. I want to take a few minutes for a broader look at what we've done together the past 16 years. Since I literally stood outside on the steps of this chapel on a very hot July day with my family behind me and accepted the call to be your president. 16 years is a long time in anyone's life. For me, it is almost half of the time I have been in this profession. And I believe it's been a significant time in the history of the University of Georgia. The academic standing of this university is much higher than it was 16 years ago, just as it had been strengthened by the good work of my predecessor, Chuck Knapp. I take great pride in the fact and the impact that this improvement will have on the strength of this state through the young people we have educated together for decades to come. I have enjoyed broad support from the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia for 16 years. I want especially to thank Chancellor Steve Porch, who offered me this job on behalf of the Regents, who were chaired at the time by the late Tom Allgood of Augusta, and the search committee, which was chaired by Regent Don Liebern. I am also grateful to my friend Dan Amos, who represented the University of Georgia Foundation and is now chair of AFLAC on the search committee, and to Dr. Betty Whitten, who was the chair of the executive committee of University Council, the position that Nelson now holds. She represented the faculty in the search. One of the prime charges given to me by the Board of Regents when I came here was to raise the national profile of this place and to help transition it out of the 20th century and into the 21st. I believe that working together, we have been successful in doing those things. Led by increasingly better classes each fall, we have seen a dramatic increase in student quality. The quality of the faculty have kept pace as well, as has the financial support to recruit and retain some of the best teachers and researchers in the country. In 1997, there were 92 endowed faculty positions at UGA. This year, there are 227. We probably need twice that many. The people who love this place and support its missions have been generous with their resources, and we are deeply grateful collectively to them for that. We have also focused a great deal on the learning environment, believing a place of the quality to which we have aspired should look the part. Major academic facilities such as the Miller Learning Center, the Coverdale Center, the Pharmacy Complex, the Complex Carbohydrate Research Center, and the Russell Research Library have provided appropriate spaces commensurate with the quality of scholars on this campus. We have honored the great tradition of this university by renovating more than 2 million square feet of historic and traditional space, including Old College, New College, Moore College, Phi Kappa, Candler, the administration building, and the first floor of the main library, all to serve students and faculty better. We have replaced 46 acres of asphalt with green space, making this a more walkable and frankly enjoyable campus. But it's not just about construction dollars and new buildings and renovated historic spaces. All those are a means to an end, and that end is a university campus that functions as a thriving, vibrant academic entity, a place alive with the mind's activities. It is about pride and presence, about attention to detail and doing things right, about a university with a great tradition of agriculture and horticulture and forestry, looking like it knows how to take care of important open spaces. It is about improved intellectual discourse and a vitally improved fine arts program. The renovated Fine Arts Building on Baldwin is now one of my favorite spaces on campus. The new Lamar Dodge School of Art on East Campus, the dramatically expanded Georgia Museum of Art, and programmatic investments at the Performing Arts Center with additional relationships with the Classic Center have bolstered the identity of that part of campus as an arts center. It is about arts and music and drama and dance and theater and performance working together and talking together in common spaces. It is that renewed spirit that we celebrated in a week-long Spotlight on the Arts in November. At a time when many institutions, particularly private colleges and universities, have cut back on their commitment to the core arts and humanities, and during a time when budget constraints made it difficult even to maintain the status quo, we have increased support for the arts and humanities and the cultural offerings that are not only expected but necessary at a truly great public university. I have worked with the provost to find additional support for the Georgia Review, the UGA Press, and the Wilson Center, among other units. These efforts have not only improved the overall intellectual enterprise by offering students a fuller range of opportunities, but have also made a strong statement about this university's commitment to the broadest range of academic, cultural, and arts experiences for Georgia's very best students. I have said it from this podium before, and I will say it again. You cannot be a great public university without a vibrant fine arts program. It is simply impossible. An improved academic climate is about also greatly enhanced research and research productivity. In fiscal year 1997, total federal research expenditures were $54.5 million. In 2011, that number had almost tripled to $137 million. In the most recent NSF ranking of federal research expenditures, we rose from 97th to 84th, a remarkable move. For the first time ever, UGA was ranked in the Shanghai list of the top 200 research universities in the world. With the establishment of the Medical Partnership, the College of Public Health, and the College of Engineering, this university now has the tools in place to increase even further its research funding, productivity, and profile. The next phase of UGA's development needs to focus on graduate and professional education. UGA must become a more aggressively competitive public research university. I take great satisfaction from the establishment of several new colleges and schools, some of which I proposed in my second State of the University address in 1999. My philosophy remains that we serve students better in smaller, more focused academic units. With the creation of the School of Public and International Affairs, the College of Public Health, the Odom School of Ecology, the College of Environment and Design, and the College of Engineering, we have offered students a broader range of opportunities, expanded research opportunities and synergies, and positioned the university to better serve the needs of the state. This faculty is due significant credit for sustaining a commitment to a real, meaningful, rigorous core curriculum. In an era of increasingly cafeteria course loads at many universities, where students are free to choose from an array of courses, this place has remained steadfast in the belief that in the first 2 years, all students should have a similar liberal arts foundation laid in preparation for the specialization to come. In particular, I believe that our students, and frankly all people, need to have an understanding of the history of this nation and some shared vision of where we as a people are headed. The American Council of Trustees and Alumni annually ranks more than the top 1,000 colleges and universities on the strength of their core curriculum. Last year, UGA was one of only 21 universities in the country to receive a grade of A in that survey. We can and should all be proud of that recognition. Our public service and research efforts are considerably stronger and more accessible to the people of Georgia, the people that we are charged with serving as a land-grant university. The Archway Partnership has connected UGA's considerable resources with the specific needs of communities around the state in the true spirit of the Morrill Act, which we celebrated last year on its 150th birthday. Enhancements in the programs of the Vinson Institute and the Fanning Institute for Leadership have helped serve targeted constituencies in better ways. At our core, everything we do here is about serving the people of Georgia, and I am proud of the impact we continue to have on the quality of life in this great state. The overall effect of all of this is that the intellectual climate of the University of Georgia is much improved. We have more serious students with a stronger faculty in an improved learning environment. Our research agenda is stronger and broader. The cultural and fine arts experience is greatly enhanced. We are serving the state in more and better ways. The place simply feels today more academic to me. Equally important is that we have done these things while at the same time increasing significantly the participation of historically underserved groups. While there is still progress to be made, I'm very proud of the steps we have taken to diversify this campus in the student body, in the faculty, and in the senior administration. The flagship university of the state of Georgia ought to look more like Georgia. It does more so today than it did 16 years ago. I grew up in the segregated South, mostly in the state of Georgia. As a child, I did not understand the separation. As an adult, I saw the legacy of that separation and how it lingered and continues to linger today in this state's educational system, both K through 12 and higher ed. I wanted to do something to improve that condition with my life, and we have together fought the good fight, literally. Faced with lawsuits the day I arrived over admission practices that allowed us to consider factors such as gender, race, ethnicity, legacy, and family background for a small percentage of the admitted class, we have increasingly stood for the principles of access and equity today. And while we did not prevail in court, I believe we have prevailed in practice. In 1998, the freshman class was 14% minority. In 2011, it was 26%. The overall student body was 13% minority in 1998. Today, it is 25%. But this is about more than numbers. It is about people. It is about opportunity. It is about the power of education to improve both an individual's life and the community in which he or she lives. It is about transformation. So making an effort to include in the student body the faculty and the administrative people of different backgrounds and ethnicities and genders and orientations and languages and experiences makes all of us stronger and better.